really do
Over
need to
here.
find some job. I'll find mutt without you, you stuck-up Lord of Perkstein.
Hey, you!
What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you. I should actually be thanking you.
Uh-huh. For what?
I've been begging for alms here for days, but I didn't make any real coin till today. And that's thanks to you. The scene you made brought out nearly all of Troskowitz.
You're welcome. At least it was good for something.
Oh well, not many people can make such a strong first impression. But look on the bright side.
Hmm?
Now things can only get better.
Yes, you're probably right. It doesn't get much worse than that. Unless somebody tries to kill me. Again.
You're still alive in one piece. It's a new day and the sun is shining. Like Tomcat always says, bruises build character.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a master swordsman, but a real joker too. He loves showing off to girls.
Do you think Tomcat might teach me a few of his tricks?
No offense, but compared to him, you're a bit of a lightweight.
I don't want to pull wagons, but if he can handle a weapon, I'd be happy to train a little with him.
Well, one of the guards tried to take him on and came back whipped like a dog, moaning like he'd been broken in two.
Well, sure. If he's that strong, I'm not surprised.
More like some trick he's got that our watch doesn't know. Or at least that's what the poor man said.
How does he show off for the girls?
With his muscles. He breaks logs with his hands. He even let himself be run over by a loaded hay wagon. Crazy. But to be fair to him, he sometimes helps people. Stanislav's sheep fell into a pit one time.
And Tomcat pulled it out?
And, not just that, he crawled down to get it. And when he found the poor thing had a broken leg, he carried it on his back all the way home.
Oh well. It was nice to meet you, but I should probably get going. Get a job, and so on.
Don't worry, you'll manage. Till we meet again.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Well struck. That's the ring you want. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easy. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. That's some nice whistling. It's easier to forge to a rhythm, isn't it? Keep on whistling. Make sure you keep up the tempo. you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and a sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right, let's have a look. Well, I've seen better blades, but it's not complete rubbish. I could give you a chance. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs, forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. What do you want, you yokel? Speak up or get lost. It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Sem-me, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Sem-me and find out what the bloody hell happened.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. I heard you could teach me something.
For a few groschen, it's no problem. What are you interested in?
Can I ask you about that cart?
What is it you need to know?
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Sem-me that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Sem-me.
All right. I'm on my way.
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as red as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Sem-me is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck what you're frae. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yarko, seems to me This fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. Come on, mate. Oh, you wee
What in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yechin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
sir.
need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. By the way, the fellas at the gate say you came here on foot.
Yeah, I did.
Christ above! And how are you going to ride with us? On the back of my saddle? You're a bit big for that, ain't ya? And I'm a bit too old.
Actually, that's what I was expecting. How would I ride otherwise?
You wouldn't. You'd walk. Unless you can get yourself a horse.
Well, those don't come cheap.
True. But your luck's in, lad. Our groom brought in a grey nag not long ago. Tell him you've got to ride out with us, and he'll give it to you for a decent price.
All right. Thanks.
Well, that should be that. Unless you've got any more questions.
No, that's all. But we should get going.
My thoughts exactly. Off to the courtyard then.
I'm ready to set out, sir.
All right. Stay close to us and don't go wandering off.
As you say, sir.
So, we're in Troskovitz. What now, sir? Should I go to the bailiff and ask if he might have seen someone?
Well, that makes sense. But the young fella here should do it. If the bailiff sees you, he'll guess I'm in the village and come and bother me. And I'm really not in the mood today for any bombardment of complaints.
I understand, sir. All right, Henry. Run along to the rat house and inquire about that wagon.
And Henry, not a word about me. Are we clear?
As you wish, sir. Master Bailiff, can I ask you about something?
Ask away, by all means. Wait now, aren't you that lad who's helping Radovan in the forge?
Yeah, that's me.
I heard his hired hands went missing.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
Ah, I was thinking they were driving awful fast with that cart.
You saw them?
I did, a few days back. They raced through the village in the early evening so fast, they were dropping sacks of charcoal.
Where were they headed?
Towards the east, to Apollonia on the road to Yichin. And you're looking for them?
I am indeed.
I'm glad to hear it. I heard there were goods for Semin on that cart, and I can do without that kind of trouble now, on account of the wedding, you know?
It seems you have a lot of concerns with that wedding, Master Bailiff.
Of course I do. I'm the father of the bride, after all. Although not everyone sees eye to eye with me. Lord Semin would be happier if I paid all the bills and left all the decisions up to him. Who's invited, what there'll be to eat and drink, entertainment, everything. It's not like I have a burning desire to deal with it, but if I'm going to pay for it...
I understand. But isn't it just that the groom's family is more concerned about these things?
That's not it. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Lord Semin is a noble and I'm just a commoner. Only I've got coin. While he's trying to keep the wolf from the door in that piddling estate of his.
You're right, Master Bailiff. Don't worry, though. People will find out you spared no expense for your daughter's wedding.
Let's hope. More like that old miser will go around saying the opposite and put me to shame.
I don't think Lord Semin would do that. That'll be all. Thanks.
Well then, young man, how did it go?
They were spotted here, sir. Going to the east, towards Apollonia.
So to Yichin? The bastards! And what about my goods?
Oh, they were driving so fast, it was falling off the cart.
The thieving scum. Let's hurry. To Yichin.
Sir, I could send a message to the Yichin captain of the guard.
Oh, it'll take too long. We'll go and get them ourselves.
So, St. Anthony, which way now?
While you're praying to the patron saint of lost things, go and have a look along the road, Gnarly. And you, Henry, have a look to the left.
All right, sir. But don't forget, my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Well, that's what we have the youngster for, isn't it? Off you go. Oh, hold up. This is strange. I don't see any cart tracks. What do you reckon, Gnarly?
I'm blind as a mole, sir. But it's all peculiar right enough. Where the hell could that cart have vanished to?
Well, that's just it. They had nowhere to turn off.
I'll look up the road a bit. And you, Henry, have a look back along the road. Maybe it fell in a ditch somewhere. Who knows?
Very well, sir.
I thought we had everything clear, then, sir. You tried to fuck with me, so until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there and keep your mouth shut.
We did everything you asked. We got the blacksmith cart and the goods.
Horse shit. You tried to fuck me. That bastard cousin of yours owned up to it.
It was his idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
It makes no difference to me, Venser. You vouched for the crooked fucker. So now, it's on you. Actually, you could consider yourself lucky. If you hadn't have saved my ass that time in Colleen, I'd have goat ear skin you alive.
Bastards. You can't trust anyone in these parts. Get ready, Gnarly. We are going to parley.
Like that time at the Shani, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Only there was more of us that time, and less of them.
Oh, don't worry, there won't be a problem. They're just common thieves. Besides, I'll take young Henry with me.
What, me?
And if they're still feeling brave, you get to try out that new plaything of yours.
Ahem, gentlemen, I'm obliged to you for looking after my goods, but I'll take them back now. Just hand them over and I'll let you go.
Oh, you must be from Sem, sir. Well, of course you can have everything back. Just as long as you ask nicely, eh? Well, how about we do things differently? You lay down your weapons, and we can all have a nice little chat. I mean, I don't intend to go murdering local lords. I just want your coin.
That's very noble of you, sir.
What are you gaping at? At them!
Help me with him!
Ah!
Nice hit! They got what they deserved, the fuckers! Henry! Hey, Henry! Are you listening?
What now?
One of them bastards fled into the rocks. Chase him down and bring him back.
Did you see which way he went?
No, I had other things on my hands. Besides, you're the one who's supposed to keep watch.
I'll go and track him then.
Great. Hurry.
I've got you now, Venser. You've nowhere to run to. Yield.
Well, why the fuck would I? It's just you against me. Besides, if I do yield, it's the rope for me anyway.
Who knows what they'll do to you? You might just get a whipping.
For robbing Sem, that old miser. He'll have me strung up from the nearest tree. I'd be better off jumping off the cliff.
If I were in your shoes, I think I'd go for the rope. Falling to your death can be real nasty.
How would you know? Have you tried it? Although, to come up with something that stupid, you must have fallen on your head.
Well, come what may. Anything can happen. Maybe you'll get out of it somehow.
Sure, I'll get out of it. Bollocks. And I don't have to be the one who falls off the cliff. So no, I'm not going with you.
Can't you think of any other way out of this?
Well, you could let me go.
Why would I?
Maybe for coin.
Carry on.
Well, Ghouls wasn't entirely wrong. We wanted to fuck him over and take the cart to Yachin.
Only it didn't work out.
As you can see, his fellows caught us on the way. We had to pull the cart over and haul the goods up to the rocks. But before Ghouls had a chance to count the loot, we skimmed off a bit. Well, that is, my cousin Franzi did. I had enough work hauling them sacks. If you let me go, well, I'll tell you where the loot is.
And what did he take?
I don't really know. But he found something on the cart, nicely wrapped up, so he swiped it. He said it looked valuable.
So you want to bribe me with something, and you don't even know what it is?
Don't worry, it's something valuable. Franzi has a nose for these things.
All right then. Tell me where you hid it, and I'll let you go.
The thing is, I don't actually know. Well, only Franzi does. He drew himself a map with charcoal, well, so's he wouldn't forget.
So besides some dodgy map, you actually have nothing for me?
That's not nothing. I reckon I gave you some pretty valuable information.
You do you?
So you'll let me go?
Not a chance.
But I gave you what you wanted.
No. I didn't want anything. You're the one who started talking about coin, and in the end, you gave me nothing but a story that might or might not be true. So no, I'm not letting you go. One-on-one, yeah. But it must be clear to you that you're no match for me. Even if the noose is waiting for you, it's still a more pleasant death than getting your head smashed in with a rock. And believe me, I'll do it if there's no other way.
Fuck. All right, I'll come with you. But you'll put a word in for me.
I might. As long as you don't try anything.
Promise me.
I won't promise you anything. Now come on. I've got a prisoner for you, sir.
Excellent. It all worked out quite well in the end. Gnarly will take care of this scum.
What about Gules?
He caught a few good hits, but he's alive. We'll take him with us. I need to have a strong word with him. You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clambering over these rocks for nothing. Here's something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Semine. Want to ride? We'll go via Troskovitz. We can drop you off there, and you won't have far to Tarkov. You ought to report back to Radovan as soon as possible about what happened with these hands.
A ride would be great. My legs are sore.
Wait until you're my age. Well, let's get going.
I didn't do nothing wrong, I swear. It's all Vence's fault. It was him who said we'll sell the car to Gills.
It weren't like that at all. We shook on it. But on the way, you had the idea we'd keep it.
What? That ain't true.
Leave it out, you two. One way or another, you wanted to fuck me over. Doesn't matter whose idea it was.
Thief robbing a thief? What a world.
I'm still a nobleman, if you don't mind. So I'm not a thief. I'm a robber baron.
A thief's a thief.
Where are you taking us?
To Semine, where his lordship will hear you out and decide what to do with you.
I hope you realise you can't just execute me.
It depends. By right, I should send a plea to some court to decide if we can behead you. But in these shitty times, nobody will give a toss. Parchment's dear, and ink ain't free either. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd happily risk it and lop your head off without permission.
I see how the law is respected here.
Ha! Are you yanking my pizzle? You're a fine one to talk about law.
And what will happen to us?
What do you think? If they'll execute a nobleman, they won't think twice about a hired hand or two.
You never know, Henry. Lord Semine is merciful. Maybe this whimpering will soften his heart.
Oh, I'm not whimpering. I'm just trying to tell you how it was.
Bollocks! You're full of shit. We don't believe a word he says, Captain.
Semine might be merciful, but whether he'll be in the mood for this, I can't say.
I'm innocent. I swear on my ma's soul.
Is that supposed to soften my heart? Ha! Every man she curved, I dragged to the gallows, swore on his mother. Nobody with any decency would risk his mother's immortal soul, even if he was as pure as the driven snow. But this bastard doesn't think twice about his soul. You should be ashamed of yourself.
The captain's right. Only the lowest of the low swears on his mother.
That's right. You always were a piece of shit, Francie. No scruples.
Well, ain't it grand to have you here to explain everything? Now shut your gobs, the three of you. Don't want you poisoning the air with the shit you spout.
Don't cause any trouble, got it?
God be with you.
Right, we're in Troskovitz. This is where you get off, Henry.
Thanks a lot, Captain.
Don't forget to go and tell Radovan what happened, so he can stop worrying.
Will do.
And drop by Semine sometime. You may be wet behind the ears still, but you're a laugh to have around.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semine's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realized they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to Semine, and they were wondering there too where the wagon got to. So we rode out to look for it. Me, Lord Semine, and his captain, Gnarly.
Well, God's nails. And the three of you tracked them down? The whole band?
That's right. They were hiding in Apollonia, along with the carts and the goods.
Indeed. Where else? The bastards. And what about my hands?
I'm not sure. Lord Semine took them and Gules to his courtyard. We'll see how he deals with them.
I'd know what to do with them.
Don't worry. I don't think Lord Semine will let them off lightly.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semine's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Troskovitz. What do you think of her?
Well, young Semine is marrying her, isn't he? Why would I have my eye on her?
Don't pretend. A statue of a saint would have his eye on her. Looks ain't everything, though. She's got such a sharp tongue on her. I almost feel sorry for young Semine. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
No, Master Blacksmith. There's no one waiting to drag me to the altar in irons.
Good for you, lad. Have your fun while you can. No need to hurry. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble-born. Old Semine wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
You don't want me to steal that sword, do you?
God's nails. Don't annoy me, youngster. This is a serious matter. A good blade must be flexible, but not brittle. The best blades are made from welded steel.
It would take weeks to make that kind of steel. The wedding will be a distant memory by then.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia, but you'll have to ask the Truscovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
With the devil? Why would the hermit make a pact with the devil?
No idea. It might just be old wives' tales.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Semin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truscovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
Greetings. Do you need something?
I need some advice.
You want some advice? Here's some. If you ever fight here again, I'll drag you out by the ear myself. Got that?
Me? I made an effort. It was capon.
Aye, birds of a feather. Even in the pillory you were like a pair of turtle doves together. Down to business. I don't have all day for you, so what do you want?
I promised Radovan the blacksmith I'd go and see Ambrose the hermit in Apollonia.
My God, lad, stay away from them rocks. Ambrose the hermit sold his soul to the devil and won't talk to nobody no more.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But it seems a bit far-fetched.
So why would an evil spirit suddenly start appearing near Apollonia? It's the devil's work, believe you me.
And has anyone sent to the castle for the priest?
Not at all. Bailiff Thrush is keeping it quiet so far. 4 strangers came here yesterday. They sat in the corner there, but once they heard about the apparition, they started to take a big interest.
What strangers?
They looked like monks, only they had daggers concealed under their robes. I saw them clearly. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on around Ambrose.
But I have to speak to him.
Didn't you hear what I said? He doesn't speak to nobody. He hides away in his hut and sends everyone away. I'd think long and hard before doing anything if I was you. Because this reeks of hell.
There's something else I need to know about this hermit.
Ask then if you must.
How do I get to the hermit?
You're asking for trouble, lad. But all right, if you insist, you go through Apollonia, along the path, below the rocks, till you reach the point where it crosses the stream. And from there, you take the path uphill, to the left, leading into the rocks.
Who's this hermit fella, anyway?
No one knows. He settled in the rocks a few years back. Folk used to go to him for various healing ointments or advice.
And what has he got to do with this apparition?
Well, he was at death's door recently, bedridden, and then suddenly he's got his health back. Just like that. And he's like a different man since then. He sends everyone who goes to see him packing. Mark my words. He sold his soul to the devil to get better. And the devil sometimes comes here on the prowl for unwary souls.
I came about that sword of yours. I'd like to buy it from you.
I'll keep my sword, thanks very much. It's a fine piece.
Right. Long since broken and unused. I wouldn't hum and haw too long if I were you. Radovan the blacksmith will give you a good price for it.
Oh, right. You mean that sword? I don't have it anymore.
Pity about your sword. It was made from good steel, from what I heard. A holy man with something precious like that. Where did you actually get it, Ambrose?
What's that got to do with you? You ask too many questions.
Maybe I went too far. My apologies, hermit. All I was after was the sword.
Oh, God. If I give you that piece of old junk, will you leave me alone?
I can promise you that. What are you asking for it?
Nothing. Just a small service. Listen carefully, then. There's an old widow called Margaret living in the village. Take this cross to her. and say to her exactly these words. Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
That's right.
I hope she'll know what this is about.
Don't worry, she will. Give her the cross, and I'll tell you where you can find the sword. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Good day. What would you like?
This might seem strange, but I'm supposed to give you this.
A cross? Mother of God. What's the meaning of this?
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what he deserves.
Ambrose? The hermit?
It was his wish that I give you the cross and the message. He said you'd know what it's about.
Oh my God! By all that's holy, it couldn't possibly be him. All those years, I'd lost hope. I never forgave myself. I committed a mortal sin.
Well, I don't know what you did. But this is supposed to be your absolution.
No, there's no absolution. Not yet. You said it yourself. Not until Ambrose's brother gets what he deserves. The bones. They still lie there outside the wall. Help me. His soul must find peace.
All right. I'll help you. But you'll have to tell me more.
Thank you, lad. Thank you. I'll tell you everything. It's a curse. I've never told anyone about it. And it's a good thing you caught me here. At the graveyard.
What does the graveyard have to do with absolution?
Hold on. Not so fast. I'll tell you everything. First, tell me... Are you afraid of the dead?
The dead should rest in peace. Even if they aren't in consecrated ground.
You're right, lad. But sometimes there's no choice but to disturb them. You see, one poor soul is waiting for redemption. For years and years.
Ah, I get it now. Ambrose's brother has to get what he deserves. This is about the soul of Ambrose's brother.
His name was Jan. He lies outside the graveyard wall, buried without rites. He's been there for 30 years.
What happened to him?
The memories are painful. We were childhood friends, and Jan loved me. Only, I chose his friend Vashek over him. He couldn't get over the rejection. So he lay in wait for Vashek one evening.
And Vashek killed him?
It was an accident. They quarrelled. Jan drew his sword first, and Vashek had to defend himself. Apparently, they got close to the cliff edge while they were fighting, and Jan fell. When they found his body at the bottom of the cliff, people thought he'd killed himself. The only one who didn't believe it was Jan's brother.
Ah, the conciliatory cross where they saw the apparition. That's to commemorate Jan.
His brother Ambrose had it built there. And those diabolical apparitions. It's my fault for saying nothing. God is punishing me for my sins.
Nonsense. God wouldn't use a diabolical apparition to scare you, would he? And what's more, Ambrose forgave you, didn't he?
Only on the condition that Jan's bones will be laid to rest in consecrated ground. Help me lay him to rest in a proper grave, please.
But without telling the priest and gravedigger. Isn't that sacrilege?
That's the only way we can put right a terrible mistake. Jan didn't kill himself.
All right. We'll give him a proper burial. Jan's soul has the right to eternal rest.
Thank you. The Lord will pay you back 100-fold. There's a rose bush outside the graveyard wall. You'll find his bones beneath it. Please bury him beside my Vashek. Here, beneath the pine tree. In that way they'll be reconciled, at least in death. Then place Ambrose's cross on his grave to bless their reconciliation.
Your journey ends here, Jan. I don't know what you have on your conscience. But rest in peace. I don't know much about prayer in these situations, but Our Father, there are many sinners in this world, but in the end, we all face your judgment for what we should have done, but lacked the courage to do. So forgive me this little sacrilege. You know better than anyone that it was the right thing to do. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven, and deliver us from evil. Amen.
Thank you. May God reward you, lad. I'd given up all hope.
I understand. A sin like that is a hard cross to bear.
30 years. I thought about it every day.
It's all right now. You did the right thing. Everything else is beyond the law of man.
I'd like to reward you somehow.
I expect you wouldn't want anyone to hear about all this, right?
Well, if you... Will you keep it to yourself?
All right. I'll accept the coin, and that'll be the end of it.
Thank you again for your help. God be with you, Henry.
Hey, fella! Listen, we need help.
What happened?
We are Knights of the Cross with the Red Star. Good brothers in Christ. I'll explain everything, but there's no time now. We have to act fast. Our brother Klesgen is dying. The crazy fool shot him. Help us.
All right. We'll have a quiet talk. What happened?
If you're going to see the hermit, be warned. The man in the hut is just pretending to be the hermit. His name is Conrad, and he's a fraud and a murderer. The Inquisition paid him to murder our Grandmaster Zdeněk in Prague. Fortunately, God did not let him carry out the crime. But 2 of our brothers were killed by Conrad when they tried to detain him.
And I see a third one will soon join them.
He was just about to flee from here as well. We took him by surprise, but he had time to grab that damned crossbow and shoot Klesgen. By the Virgin Mary, help us. We have to catch him.
Did Conrad really want to flee?
Yes. We stopped him at the last moment. He almost got away, but we surrounded him.
You're a Knight of an Order?
Yes. I am Brother Arnold, a Knight of the Cross with the Red Star. And these are Brothers Sibald and Nicholas. You are too late to make the acquaintance of Brother Klesgen, I'm afraid. We take care of the sick in infirmaries throughout the land, but we can't help our brother. You have to help us, while there's still time.
Why should I get mixed up in it?
I'll pay you. We just need to distract Conrad's attention, that's all. Otherwise, we won't have a chance against his crossbow in that gorge.
That swine tried to deceive me. He mustn't get away.
God, thank you. Try to get close unseen, and set fire to the haystack on the right-hand side of the yard. Then his crossbow will be useless. But do it quickly, before he gets away.
Hey, stop right there. Halt, or I'll shoot.
Wait! Hermit, what are you doing?
Don't move a muscle, I mean it.
I don't know what's going on here. I just want to talk with you in peace.
I understand, but there's no time for talk now.
They sent me after you, but I'm not your enemy.
I don't believe you. I don't believe anyone anymore. I don't want to kill you. Go away.
I can help you. Let's talk.
All right, but make it quick, and no sudden movement. Agnosco fortunam Carthagina.
What do you want? You want it to run off.
And what
Where can I find that broken sword?
It's not far. At the edge of the meadow up there are 2 entangled
That's all I need to know. Now that's what I call steel. It may be broken, but there's hardly a trace of rust.
What are you here for, stranger?
So I'm back, Master Blacksmith.
Excellent. How did it go with the hermit?
He's dead.
What? Did you?
No, not me. It just got a bit complicated. Anyway, it turns out old Ambrose really used to be a knight. And this really is Toledo steel. You were right, Blacksmith.
God's nails. That's quite something.
First-class welded steel. Ambrose must have broken the sword himself, deliberately. It wouldn't have just happened in battle.
That's exactly what we need. See now, youngster. My clever plan worked out nicely in the end.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your, clever plan.
You haven't disappointed me yet, lad. So I'm sure forging an exceptional sword won't be a problem for you either.
Wait, I thought you wanted to do it yourself. I'm just your assistant, after all.
Not at all. I trust you. One day you'll become a master. That is, unless you lose your head first.
Have to hammer it more evenly. And that's that.
Oh, yes. That ointment of yours is a gift from heaven. Now they only ache when there's a storm coming.
That's handy, isn't it? At least you know when to round up the...
How can I help you, stranger?
I've got something for you, blacksmith.
God's nails, you weren't bullshitting.
I'd say it looks pretty much like a sword, eh?
Looks like. This is a damned fine piece of steel. Damned fine.
Thanks. I was glad to help. But now there's something I need from you.
I'll pay you, of course. And if you want to do some smithing, I won't throw you out of my forge either.
No, you know full well what I need. I have to get to Samin's wedding.
Why is it so important for you? It'll just be a lot of people stuffing their faces. You can find that anywhere.
I have my reasons. And you don't need to know them.
God's nails, lad. You're full of mysteries. But whatever, that's your business. I don't mind taking you to the wedding. Nothing to it. We can set off once you're ready.
Welcome, blacksmith. We were beginning to worry.
I bet you were. I'm bringing a wedding present.
Look who's finally here. Welcome, Radovan. And Henry.
Sir?
Well, do you have it?
Of course. Your son deserves the best. You can take it.
No, hold on to it. I'd be glad if you gave it to Older yourself.
I'd be honored.
Has Lord von Bergov arrived yet?
Henry, that's none of your business.
It's all right, Radovan. I understand his curiosity. Lord von Bergov isn't here yet, but Chamberlain Ulrich assures me he'll arrive any moment now.
Sir, could I ask you to introduce me to Lord von Bergov?
God's nails. I'm sure his lordship will have nothing better to do than talking to my apprentice.
We'll see, Henry. Now, unfortunately, I have other things to attend to. What are those beggars still doing by the gate? I thought I made it clear I wanted them gone, didn't I?
I drove them off, but they came back. They just won't take no for an answer.
At least close the gate for now so the guests don't see them. They must be gone before Sir Otto arrives. Do you understand?
Oh dear. You seem rather worried. Would it have to do with your guest of honor?
I'm afraid of it ending up in disgrace. I wouldn't want Sir Otto to take offense and leave before he gives Older his blessing.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No, Henry. It's nice of you to offer your help, but I can't ask that of you. What kind of host would that make me?
Don't worry about it, sir. Since Henry is volunteering, why not take up his offer? If he proves himself, you can introduce him to Lord Van Berghoff as a reward, if that's what he wants.
I promise I won't bring shame to you.
Oh, we'll see. I've got to make some arrangements with the cook, but come and see me later. In the meantime, you can introduce yourself to the bailiff's son, Svartapluk, over there. You're the same age, so I think you'll get along just fine.
That's right, Henry. Svatja. He's fun to be around. God's nails. I bet he'll show you the prettiest girls around.
There's plenty of other entertainment, too. Bailiff Thrush is holding a dice tournament, and Captain Gnarly a dueling contest. In short, a proper wedding. Eat and drink to your heart's content. Rejoice. It's a big day for Samin.
One more thing, sir.
What else? Did I forget something?
They're, weapons.
Yes, of course. Please leave your weapons with Tuma. You surely understand, it's for security.
All our weapons?
Well, the wedding present is an exception, of course. Keep it safe, Radovan.
Hey, I know you. You fought with us at the tavern.
Nice. That was some brawl.
Right you are. You fought bravely. Both you and that friend of yours. You were outnumbered, but you still gave us a run for our money.
But you were better. If they hadn't broken it up, we probably wouldn't have stood a chance.
Aye, well, you wouldn't have avoided the stocks either way. People in the village don't like strangers, and my father's no different. Anyway, as far as you and I are concerned, let's let bygones be bygones. All good?
It's all good.
See? I'm no idiot. I just can't stand stuck-up fellas. And you're not one of them, are you?
I hope not.
I know you're not. You're a good lad, I can tell. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Svatya. The pretty girl getting married today is my sister.
So I've heard.
This is Vitek.
The son of the biggest drunkard around. Be glad you didn't have the honor. Fortunately, my father's not here to embarrass me again. Ma's afraid he got lost. Or she didn't even come to the wedding because of it. But I'm sure he's just sleeping off his hangover somewhere.
Quiet, you two. Sakura. Now I don't know what he said to her. Christ. Look at her face.
Whose?
Look over there. That pretty girl and the sad sack trying to impress her.
That's our friend, Wojtek.
Can't say I blame him. She's lovely. Your friend has good taste.
He's bitten off more than he can chew, though. Hey, Svatya, what's her name, anyway?
Mishka. Her ma is old Samin's cook. That asshole Wojtek thinks he's going to win her over with some idiotic verse.
Poor girl. What if she really isn't interested?
Then you could go and save her from Wojtek, eh?
Jesus Christ! There's an idea! Let's bet on who has a better chance with Mishka. Vulgar Wojtek or handsome Henry.
I'd like to see that. You're on.
My money's on Henry. 10 groschen. So off you go, dust off your hose, tuck in your shirt, and go and win her heart.
I'll wager 10 groschen he fails.
All right. I could...
Fantastic. I knew right away you'd be up for a bit of fun.
Wait, no,
Stop dilly-dallying and go and get her! Before Wojtek wears her down!
Is there any point in trying to get a word in?
None. That's our Svatya for you.
Ah, bugger off. It'll be a laugh.
Oh, Mishka, dearest. You give me no rest.
Really? Isn't it the other way around?
You keep me awake at night.
You poor thing. Try a decoction of Melissa and Valerian.
How I long to hold you tight.
I can hardly breathe as it is.
Great things.
How I long to kiss your lips. And, put my hands on your hips.
Enough. I can't listen to another word.
That makes two of us.
And you are who?
I'm Henry.
What do you want here?
To rescue a damsel?
There's no damsel here that needs rescuing.
The damsel has a voice and a name.
And may I know it? Or is that impertinent?
Mishka.
Now look here.
Anything wrong?
I spoke to her first.
Are we on the marketplace here?
You think you can amuse Mishka more? That's a joke.
Look, Wojtek. Why don't we just leave Mishka alone, eh? She's not interested in our buffoonery anyway.
What buffoonery?
It was you who interrupted us.
He interrupted you. More like he rescued me.
But I thought you liked it.
Do you know what it means to think?
I don't understand this at all. But girls like poems. All of them. Ma said so.
Recite to your ma, then. And give her my greetings.
But...
Sorry I didn't realise right away.
Better late than never. Wojtek still hasn't figured it out, though.
But...
Hey, come along with me, Henry.
Fucking hell. See what you did? Mishka would be mine if it wasn't for your meddling.
Isn't it better here?
It's a nice place. Thanks for showing it to me. It's definitely quieter here.
I come here when I want to be alone. Or when I'm washing laundry.
You want to be alone? At a wedding?
It's not that. I like weddings. Only fellas like Wojtek spoil the fun for me a bit. Every time. Some fella comes sniffing around me, telling me how pretty I am, how clever, how well I dance. Or about how he's so rich, smart, and God knows what else.
Those are the worst.
Thanks for getting rid of Wojtek for me. I hope you won't live to regret it.
Don't you worry about me.
Enough of that. I'd rather hear about you. Like, where you're from, what you're doing here. You're not a local. I'd know you if you were.
Where am I from?
Unless it's a secret, of course.
I'm from Skalitz.
And what's this Skalitz of yours like?
A little place. What can I say? A hole it was.
Was? Has it grown since?
No. Skalitz was torched to the ground, and we had to flee.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to bring up sad memories. Wouldn't you like to dance? It'll take your mind off things.
Gladly. May I have the honour?
And do you know how? Or will you stamp on my slippers?
Oh, I reckon I can manage a few steps. I haven't tried it for a while.
Don't worry. It'll all come back to you.
Care to dance?
Twit. So. And 1, 2, 3, and off we go.
To ever pick up a girl. None that I know of. And if Henry doesn't fuck up completely, today will be no different.
See? You're doing pretty good.
Thanks. I'm really trying.
And keep it going then.
Tries to hump her right away.
You're in front of everyone? That'd take some balls.
Thanks, Henry. I enjoyed the dance.
Would you look at that? The return of the prodigal son.
How did it go?
Mishka's a nice girl. I'm glad I got to know her.
I don't doubt it. Where did you two go? Took you a while.
We danced and then parted ways. Nothing more.
We saw you dancing. But where were you hiding before?
We were just talking. We went somewhere quieter.
Talked, eh? That's the best story you can make up?
Give him a break. Not everyone's a blabbermouth like you.
Either way, it looks like I won the bet, Svatya.
That's true. Oh well, we have to drink. To the newlyweds' health.
That's what everybody here drinks to. Let's drink to us, fellas.
I'm here to help you, sir.
I said you didn't have to.
Well, I made a promise. Is this about the beggars by the gate?
That too, but I'm more worried about my wayward relatives and their insatiable thirst.
You mean Yurko and the Moravians?
Oh, what did I do to deserve a nephew like him?
I'll try to keep an eye on them. Maybe I'll be able to keep them in check.
You'd be pulling a thorn from my side. But don't get your hopes up. Getting between them and booze is asking for trouble.
What about the beggars, sir?
Try asking Tuma, the guard on the gate. Maybe he's figured something out already.
I'll talk to Tuma and we'll work something out.
Well, try to be done with it before Lord von Berghoff arrives.
Of course.
Thanks, Henry. I appreciate it.
You're Henry, right? The one who came with the blacksmith?
The one and only.
You came to help me with them beggars?
Lord Semine would be glad if we got rid of them. I was told you'd know how.
It doesn't take a scholar to figure out. They came for alms, that's all. If they get some food, they'll be on their way.
Well, there's plenty of food here. So what's the problem?
There's plenty of food on the tables, that's true. But that's for the guests. I can't go round taking food off the tables. How would that look?
Then I'll do it.
Well, I suppose you could. But you'll need a pile of food. Folk will take you for a glutton. Besides, you'll spoil them with such fine fare. I reckon some kitchen scraps should do.
How about giving them a few groschen? Wouldn't that do it?
Christ, don't even think about it. If word gets out among the beggars that we're handing out coin, there'll be twice as many of them tomorrow. Never, ever give them groschen. Better let them starve than that.
So what kind of food do you think we should give them?
If it was up to me, I'd give them scraps from the kitchen. But the cook keeps saying there's no scraps. Says she uses it all for soup and gruel. She put the scraps away in the pantry and won't let anyone in there.
Isn't there any way I could reason with her?
That's not going to be easy. She's got one hell of a mouth. I think even old Semine's afraid of her. He put her in charge of the feast. And now they're fighting over every single groschen. The wedding already cost him a fortune. If he starts giving to the poor as well, there'll be hell to pay.
Where can I find the cook?
In the kitchen. Where else? But you can't reason with her. She's a tight-fisted old hag.
I'll try to sneak into the pantry.
Just make sure she doesn't catch you red-handed. It'd be for the best if you lured her out of the kitchen. But that won't be easy. Especially now, when she's so busy with the feast.
Did you notice if she ever leaves the kitchen?
I've seen her go and gather herbs, or put more food on the tables from time to time. But someone would have to eat it all first.
I'm not hungry right now.
Well, that's too bad.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Good luck, Henry.
Blessed evening to you. Take care, sir. This is my kitchen. Stay out of my way, please. Hey, leave my pantry. What's that you're taking over there? Stealing, eh?
Hey,
here he is! Catch him! Such violence! Does anyone live by the Bible these days?
I'll crush you!
You... Christ! Fucking hell!
Shame! Shame on you!
Quickly, for the love of God, sort out this rabble before they turn everything into firewood!
cursed luck. Well, well. Distinguished guests.
For the love of God. Does it have to be him?
Trust me, friend.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
We need to have a word with you.
Oh. Would your graces care to sit?
I think not.
What brings you to my humble rectory, gentlemen?
Are you all packed, Godwin? I heard you got kicked out of your humble rectory.
So who do I owe that to? You wouldn't have had anything to do with this, would you, Hanush?
You've no one to thank for that but yourself, Godwin. If you hadn't been living like an animal, you wouldn't be regretting it now.
You're wrong, though. I don't regret anything.
And I trust you won't regret hearing us out now. We have a secret mission for you.
I'm all ears, Sir Radzik.
Do you know about Lord Capon's mission?
Aye. I heard a word or two about that. Where was it you sent him? Trotsky?
Yes, to Sir Otto von Berghoff's castle.
Royal Chamberlain von Berger. The League of Lords fella.
You know more than I'd expect from you.
It doesn't surprise me. I also know that Trotsky is about 3 days' ride away.
2 days, weather permitting.
The young lord should have been back long since then, shouldn't he?
He should. But he's not.
And now you want me to find out why he's not here yet.
That's right. You'll go to Trotsky and see if anything's happened to him.
Why don't you send Henry after him? As far as I know, he's always done a good job for you.
That's exactly why he went with Capon.
So it's more serious than I thought. All right. I'll do it.
Well, that went better than I expected.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. I won't rest until my nephew is safely back in Perkstein.
When should I go?
Right away.
Fuck! Did they have to lock us up in here of all places? I have a feeling these walls are moving. The cell is getting smaller and smaller. Can you hear me? Let me out! Hey! Hear me!
Give it a rest. No one's come in.
I feel like we're going to be crushed here.
Don't worry, we won't. Any crushing will be done later by the executioner.
Oh, what a relief to hear that. Listen here, Henry. I wanted to say, well, that I'm glad to see you again. Henry?
Oh, it sounds like the great Sir Hans Capon is getting ready to apologise. But why?
Well, because I'm just sorry, I suppose. And nevertheless, Henry, I wanted to say that, well, you were right. I behaved badly. Awfully.
All right. I accept your apology. All water under the bridge, eh? Old pal.
Thanks. So, what were you getting up to the whole time, anyway?
I was working in the blacksmith's forge in Takov.
Oh. Well, lucky for you, you have a trade you could work at.
Sort of. Most of the time I was actually chasing after lost carts or scrambling over the rocks looking for hermits.
Well, at least you weren't bored, eh?
What about you?
I also stuck to what I'm best at.
What, boozing and whoring?
Fucking hunting.
Where did you get the gear for that? We arrived in Troskowitz like a pair of beggars.
By using the old noggin, pal. I pulled a strong thread out of those rags I had on, made a snare for game, and before you could say jackrabbit, I was hawking 6 hares around the local cottages.
Weren't you worried about the local gamekeeper?
That nitwit! I found out he was fond of the booze, so I snooped around his lodge, and when sleeping it off, I went hunting. Once, I even went into his shed and, borrowed a bow and a quiver full of arrows.
Thieving, too, to top it all. Christ!
Oh, give over. Once things are sorted out, I'll give it all back. Shh, quiet! There's something going on outside the door.
Have you seen Captain Thomas? Yarrick says he's in a bad way.
He's right. Them fuckers cut him up good.
Last I heard from Father Nicodemus, though, was that his wounds are healing.
Aye. Only he's been struck down by a fever. And the Sawbones is away with Sir Otto.
Good God!
Captain Thomas! Yes! He met us before we reached the pond, didn't he? We showed him our letter.
But he's in a fever. You heard them.
Oh, we'll deal with that somehow. Hey!
Leave it be.
Hey! Open up, you rabble! We're messengers from Ratai. Your captain can confirm it. Do you hear?
Again?
Those damned fools won't give us any peace.
Come on, fellas! Be reasonable! We're envoys of the Lord of Lipa!
It's about time. Just you wait till Lord von Berghoff hears how you treat a noble.
You, come with me to the courtyard. Chamberlain says we ain't gonna waste bread on you for nothing. We've got a job for you.
What about me? I want to talk to the captain right now.
You want to talk to God, fella. You're getting the gallows for poaching.
What? But you can't hang a nobleman.
Jesus, wait! Hear that? That bell's tolling for you, mate. 12 more times, and the priest will come for you. Hans!
But you can't!
Hans, don't worry, I'll fix it! Move it!
I'm a nobleman! Do you hear me? I'm a noble! I'm Sir Hans Capon of Bergstein.